something that you'll commonly hear in the game is that in order to be a good golfer, you got to take it up young. And you might think that that's because, well, when you're young, you have more time to learn it. I don't think so. I took up the game at 9. The benefit that young golfers have is that they're weak. And because they're weak, they can't overwhelm the club. You know, I started playing with a cut down set of adult clubs. The weight of the club in itself is going to be heavy, even if it's cut down to a length that matches a junior. So because you're playing with these things that are really heavy for your size and your stature, you learn how to swing it. And that's really what happens when you learn playing young. You have to use the leverage of your body in order to move this club. The swing that I teach is my best way to convey to you how to swing the club. I put you in a position that if you stay within the parameters that I set, the club performs like it's supposed to perform. It performs like it would if you took up the game when you were 9 years old too, and the only option was to use the leverage of your body to allow the club to swing because you couldn't overwhelm it. So how does the club move? It moves according to the position of the body. I'm explaining to you there not only how it moves, but how to get it to happen properly. So I said, if you stay within the parameters that I set for you, the club's going to move properly. What it really comes down to is this, right? What are the parameters that I set for you? Well, we got to pivot deep closed into the setup position so that we can empower the lead side and establish this inside out swing path. And we load weight onto the front foot so that we can have a descending swing path, which creates solid contact. And then we focus on holding that position, holding our weight to the lead side, holding the closed position through impact. When you do that, this thing performs properly. Now, if I were to try and explain to you what this thing is doing so that you could focus on moving it properly, you're going to do it wrong. That's what traditional golf has tried to explain to you over and over again. But if you just set yourself in a position and you maintain this position through impact, the club moves properly. So that's really what's going down here. So when you look at my swing, don't ever look at what my hands and arms are doing. Instead, look at what the core is doing, because that's how I'm operating this thing. And that's something that happened because I started so young. It is so important for you to understand that you need to stop sifting through this idea of trying to control your hands and arms with your efforts to control your hands and arms, and start to control your hands and arms through the position of your body. And when you do, this club will swing like it's supposed to. So where does that all start? Swing path drill. You got to work on that there. But more importantly, it's about understanding where your focus and your attention should be. You want the club to move properly? You put your attention in holding your weight on your lead side and holding your chest closed to the target through impact. And when you do that, this thing's going to do what it's supposed to do. You don't have to worry about trying to square the club face, because if you do, you're going to interfere and your focus won't be where it's supposed to be. It's going to be down here in the club. If you try and release the club, you're not going to do it properly, because you know what? Your focus isn't going to be here, and your shoulders are probably going to open. And when your shoulders open, the club doesn't release. That's one of the things that happens that actually dumps out a lot of power. When your shoulders start opening, the club stops doing what it wants to do in its dynamic optimum. It starts moving with you. When you hold your shoulders closed, the club then gets a chance to do what it wants to do in order to create power. It releases. The effort level in that is so low with my hands and arms. All I'm doing is monitoring the position and the structure of my body, and all that occurs when you do that. Now, there's going to be the better and the less ideal versions of it, but provided you hold your chest closed through impact and your weight's on your lead side, you're going to be hitting some really sweet shots.